Indonesia has ended the search for the AirAsia plane that crashed into the Java Sea in December, killing all 162 people on board. Since the crash, rescuers have found large parts of the plane, also its black boxes, but more than 50 bodies are still missing underwater. There were indications the plane had run into bad weather, but the cause of the crash, that is officially unknown. Budisatrijo has been speaking to relatives of the passengers.
This is what's left of Indonesia's deadliest aviation disaster in over a decade. The plane's tail was fished out of the Java Sea. No one survived. Gani Chandra was among the passengers heading to Singapore for the holidays. This is the last selfie the group of 4 friends took just before takeoff. His friends' bodies have been found, but not his. Gani's brother Frankie, though, says he understands that the search has to end. He went on a military plane that spotted the first debris 2 days after the crash. In that instance, he knew his brother was gone. Still, he's holding out hope.
If we can find and bury his body, psychologically we can have a starting point to move on with our lives. If we never find him, we'll always think about what it's like in the sea and what happened to his body. There is no end.
The family of Bima Ali Wicaksana has also been waiting for news of their quiet son. His father says he's resigned to God's will, but still prays for a miracle.
Maybe since they've looked for my son in the sea and couldn't find him, maybe he survived the crash and has been taken care of by local people somewhere. I know it's relatively impossible, but what if God wants him to be alive?
Just hours after the announcement that the plane had crashed into the Java Sea, the Indonesian President Joko Widodo came to this airport to meet with the grieving relatives who were gathered here. He promised to find all of the bodies of those on board. Despite dozens still missing, though, search and rescue officials are convinced that it's now time to stop.
Certainly, I've tried my best, but we have to understand hopes versus reality. The latest bodies that we found were already in very bad condition. They're no longer intact, only body parts, and badly damaged.
The reality for the families of these victims still feels unreal. No one could expect entire families or friends getting on a short flight on a reputable airline to never come back. Budisatrijo, BBC News, Surabaya, Indonesia.